Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm pleased to welcome you to this beautiful program. In this program, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, historical topics, and give validation to that which is true and that which is not. No, one of the problems of we Africans is that most of our historical information are not what passed on to the next generation. Most especially our story from our villages. Most of them we don't really know them anymore. But on this note, this channel will serve as an avenue to talk about some popular stories or information in that regard. I'm Baneme Brown and I welcome you to Cognizant. So this topic is going to be one of the most argued topics, which is the Benin and the Yorubas. We have deep similarities in our cultures, in the way we do things. But over the time, we see ourselves struggling, fighting on internet space, on physical space, working space, and all that. See, we arguing that the Yorubas are from the Benin, the Benin. Yorubas will not say the Benin is the territory. That kind of sort of stories. But today we're going to be looking at some three factors, and the three factors have to do with the. One of it is that the Oduduwa came from Mecca. One. The second one is the Yoruba, the Oduduwa came from Benin. Two, and the third one is Oduduwa fell from the sky. So we're going to look at these three factors and give our own verdicts, analyze it, and see if which of it is actually true. And one thing I want you people to know is that histories are like stories because we are not there when it occurs. But the way we justify which is true is by the informations we have, the data we have. That is how we justify which is true. And you believe me that when I tell you a story and there is no concrete evidence in that particular story, you should be able to tell me that the story you just told us is a friction, it's a myth, it's true, So those are the things we're going to be looking at while we take on these topics. So now, I'll start with the one that goes by the first team, who says the Oduduwa came from Mecca, and that is the most absurd statement. And during my research, I discovered that this particular statement came from one of the articles written by someone that relates to Ondo Kingdom. So that is where I read about it, and that's where I believe that the information came from. I don't really know, but from my studies, I believe that is where the information about it came from. Mecca was originated from. And when I look at it in particular, I discover that, first of all, this is West Africa, and someone all the way from Mecca journeyed down to West Africa, in particular in Nigeria, in the West. And if you take one of the factor I have to use in countering this statement is that you take the geographical aspect of it, and you take your map and you read through your map, you discover that the distance from Mecca to the West Africa, which is the Lefe, wow. By work, have to take you 69 days, guys. If you want to journey all the way from there without stopping, 69 good days I walk, which you know that it's not possible because you agree with him that he will definitely going to move from point to point and rest, settle down, then before you make preparation, then before it takes off again. So from point to point to point to point, and which will take more than 69 days. You know, so that is one of it. Then again, I said that this particular character was a prince in Mecca. So I took the time, I checked through informations and all that to see if there's any record of such person in Mecca, since let's say he's a prince and he left the place because he was serving an idol while there was the other group of people were doing Islamic. So because he does not believe in Islamic, he believes in idol worshiping, so he left. At least there's gonna be a record of him, but it's a prince. There's gonna be a record of him. But when I said true, there was no record of him. So now it was in the year 629 or 630. It was conquered by Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, which the state became Muslim, the Vietnam Muslim. So, according to the information they have, which is one of the reasons why I said the statement, which I say the statement which goes by he was rejected or he left Mecca because of his idolatry. It's not true, because if actually he was still practicing idolatry, he was still worshipping idol. Sorry, that he was still worshipping idol. It would have been a kind of a story that would have come up to show that was a prince who did not believe. There was a prince who did not believe in Islam, and who left the place and traveled far all the way down to West Africa. So there would have been a story like that in Mecca, but when you look through, search through, you don't find any story of such. So that is one. Even when they gave the name, I even searched through the name. I could not get any true information. Every information I'll be getting about that particular Oduduwa related to Mecca, all center around the Yorubas, or the originator of that story, Yoruba. So there have not been any story that is coming all the way from Mecca in regard to that. Though we might also do future investigation on that to know if it is true or not. But on what I've searched through, you agree with me that there is not such person historically based on my research. Then after that, another reason why this particular Oduduwa came from Mecca is not also true is for the fact that our cultural heritage is not similar. Like if I leave Nigeria today and go to another region of this planet, and possibly I was able to conquer that particular place, I'll have to introduce my way of life, which is the culture. The introduction of this way of life will automatically replace what has been in existence there. It might not be able to replace everything, but there will going to be an influence of it. I have to change some certain things which will have to favor me. So, and the Yoruba does not really have anything to have to do with, excuse me, the Yoruba don't really have anything to have to do with Mecca or Saudi Arabia culture. They are totally different. So on this note, that statement is false. Now you are done with the first statement that says Oduduwa came from Mecca. So you agree with me without little evidence that that statement is not true. Oduduwa did not came from Mecca. Then the next other thing we want to look at is the aspect that says that talks about Oduduwa falling from the sky. This one is most interesting. Most of the Yorubas, they agree to this. Most of the Yorubas, the traditional custodians, they also succumb to this. They believe that this is the actual story or the actual evidence that actually talks about the origin. And then if that be so, I'll have to take a genetic aspect. I believe every being has a DNA that can be traced back to thousands of years before now, and we have similarities in gene in our DNA. So if actually the Yorubas were from their ancestors, their DNA should be different from ours, and they should have a unique DNA, a unique one for that. The DNA that shows the terrestrial being, which scientists cannot view, which scientists can prove or give any origin from. So, if there is any Yoruba or have such DNA, please just let us know. The second factor is that this story is just myth. It's a Yoruba mythology, and it's a story made up to in the ancient times, which was used as a guideline. It's a legend. There's no true evidence on this note. Even the custodians, they can't really give us true evidence that have to prove that the ancestors fell from the sky. Let me relate this to some of the mythologies. We have like the Greek mythologies, like the Zeus, the Hercules, and all that. These are stories told by Greeks. For thousands of years, it was accepted, and many people believe that this story was actually true. But as time goes on, the story was then it was actually debunked. They just stories. They were just not actually the true evidence of all these scenes. Because some of the scenes were so extraordinary that you start picturing how did it happen. So also this Oduduwa falling from the sky is a myth, a story told to us and to encourage us, to give us that strong belief that our ancestors, the father of our race or the father of our tribe or our clan, came from the sky. So it's something to be proud about. Then it's just like when we are small, we do have this story they do talk about, they do told, or they do tell this story. They do tell us those days, stories about the tortoise, how wise it was, and they had a meeting in the skies, and the reason why the back of the tortoise is cracked and all that. So most of them were some of those stories are actually true. We believe the stories that the reason why the back of the tortoise is cracked, has that kind of shape, is because it fell from the sky, and by so doing, it fell and all that one. So these are just stories told to give us that moral conduct, to give us that moral carefulness and all that. So it was not actually that these things really took place. However, there have not been any meeting in the sky by anyone. So with that, I would say that that particular statement that says you are fell from the sky is too obvious and it's not true. I don't really know if they actually have any evidence to give us on that note, that to show that it actually fell from the sky. If there is, would you please let us know, because we are eager to know and we are willing to learn. And that is for that. Now we discovered that the last factor we are looking at is the Yoruba coming from Benin. This is the most fascinating one of it all. So it has a deep story, historical, basically it's oral story anyway. It was not written, but from the way it was told, we discovered that there is a piece of information that you can grab. Definitely going to leave or find some evidence to be true, which is the Oduduwa coming from Benin. So now, before the era of Oba, there was an era known as the Oduduwa, and the last Oduduwa was the father of Oduduwa, which is Oduduwa, because he was a banished prince from Benin Kingdom, so which he left and moved away far from the kingdom and settled in the place today now known as the Ife. So at that point, then the Benin was not having some issues because the last Oduduwa died and they need a ruler. Now, while the elder was struggling, deliberating on that, so they now recall that there was a son who was banished from the kingdom a long time ago. So they set off fetching. On getting there, they discovered he has already grown old, has his own family and kingdom that he's looking after. So he could not come to Benin to rule. So therefore, he sent his son. He sent his son down to Benin, and this son of his came down to Benin to represent him. Although he had some issues with the chief also, but along the way he had a child. So this child, which later now become the Oba, and this child in particular was the one who started this era, Oba. Then the Oduduwa sons, the Oduduwa son went back to Ife to become their life in of Ife, which now he was now formed the Oyo Empire. Now we are formed the Oyo Empire. Then another short notice I want to put is that before the Oba era, there was nearly 36 Ogiso that ruled the Edo people before this Oba era. So now, currently, this is where the Yoruba mind grasp upon that this is why we are Benin come from us, but in a true sense, it actually comes from Benin. So just some issues that led to all that. That is just the little I want to put. Although this is not the full story I wanted to share, but I just want to shape in this little information to as base for the argument that says Benin come from Yoruba or Yoruba come from Benin. So within these three factors, which of it do you feel is actually true, or do you feel that the story was actually true? Is it the Oduduwa coming from Mecca, or Oduduwa falling from the sky, or Oduduwa coming from Benin? So please, whatever you think or whatever the information you have in addition to this, you can just drop in the comment section and we'll talk more of it. Okay, thanks and have a nice